Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, kids of all ages, welcome to our Saturday stream. How y'all doing? My name is rbPlays. I am your humble host on this side of the screen. Thank you so much for stopping by. It means a lot that you're here today. If this is your first time here, then, you picked a good one. You picked a good one to make your first because this is where you get to know me. Some folks call it an Ask Me Anything session. Some folks call it a just chatting session. But once a month, the first Saturday of the month, as a matter of fact, we just kind of get together and hang out, chat for a little while. You can ask me any questions that you want. It's your first time. If it is your first time here, then, just sit back, relax, ask questions if you want to. We're going to talk about all the things. And then if you really love what you see, then, maybe hit the follow button, get notified every time we go live, which is every Saturday, 9 a.m. We usually play Minecraft around here. Today, we are going to play a little game. We're just going to play a little game today. But it's not going to be Minecraft. It's not going to be golf. It's not going to be anything like that. It's going to be a brain puzzle. I'm going to do a brain puzzle today. Morning, Deether. Darth E. Curb asks, what does DOS stand for? Dino Operating System. Could be denial of service. I feel like at some point, didn't it mean something along the line of desktop operating system or something like that? Like in the early days of DOS? I don't know. Back pre-Windows. I don't know. He says Dino Operating System. I don't know about that. I never heard that one before. Never heard that one before. But what do I know? I'm just a poor boy from a poor family. Spare me my life of this monstrosity. Anyway, I hope you all are doing well this morning. It has been a productive week for me. It has been a productive week. I haven't gotten everything done that I wanted to get done this week, but I've done some things. First and foremost, we put out a video on the YouTube on the woodworking channel yesterday. It is not woodworking content. It is just a shop update video. Shop update number 7 is out on the channel right now. If you have not seen it yet, then head over to youtube.com/Richard Brooks Woodworking and take a look at it. We talk about the new table saw. We talk about upcoming projects. It's only about 9 minutes. But I had some time yesterday, so I got it recorded and edited and put out. I'm having some trouble with once again, having trouble with audio. Yesterday was Deether's birthday. Deether, happy birthday. Belated. Cheers. Cheers, buddy. Cheers. I've spent a lot of time in the shop this week. As many of you will recall, a couple of weeks back, I bought myself a new table saw. New to me, anyway. Found it on Facebook Marketplace, $50. Rigid R4511 granite top tabletop table saw. And I've been putting in some wrench time on it, trying to get it cleaned up, fixed up, and in a usable state. And we've got it mostly there. The next thing that I need to do is I need to make a new throat plate for it, a new zero clearance insert plate, because the one that's in there, somebody has effed up. It's not in great shape. The saw is working fine, but the throat plate really needs some help. Like, really needs some help. I've been doing a lot of work out in the shop because I've got a project that I need to work on for Christmas, which we are now 19 days away from Christmas. got a project that I need to work on for Christmas for the family, and I've been dreading making this for a long time, but it's time. Longtime followers of the channel remember that my buddy, our pal, our beloved pet of a long time, Yukon the dog. Hold on a second. Yep. Yukon the dog. I keep this on my desk. Passed in 2019. And ever since then, we have had his collar on the mantle above the fireplace. And I've always wanted to build something to display it on, in, with something. At first, back when he passed, I really wasn't doing the woodworking thing. But then I got back into woodworking, and that's when I decided I wanted to make something. But honestly, this has been the hardest project for me to pull the trigger on, just because of the emotions that are involved in it. You know, I want to do right by him because he was a great dog. Oh, he was our buddy. So I've got a display designed. Mrs. RB and I worked on it together. I want to get that finished before Christmas. So I have to get the shop in order. So that's what I've been doing all week, getting the shop in order so that I can start. I went out and we're going to make it out of cherry. And I went out and got the lumber for it this past week. I feel like I went on Monday. Got the cherry for it. So yeah, that's the project that we're going to be working on this coming week. And it's not elaborate. It's got some miter joints in it. It's got a rounded base shelf on it. It's kind of a twofold thing where we can either set it on the back of our piano, or we can keep it on the mantle of the fireplace, or something along those lines. Or we can hang it on the wall. All total, it's going to be, I feel like it's going to be probably about 10, maybe 11 inches tall, about 7 inches wide, 6 inches, 5.5 inches deep, somewhere in there. It's going to be nice. It's going to be pretty. And it's going to be a fitting memorial. Yeah. And of course, I'm going to make a video for it. That's going to make it even harder. It's going to make it even harder. Because while I'm cutting wood and talking about things on camera, I'm going to become a blubbering idiot. My emotions run deep on this topic, so it's going to be an interesting experience. I feel like the title of the video is going to be something along the lines of, "This was the hardest box I've ever built," or "the hardest frame I've ever made." Something along those lines. We'll see how it goes. So yeah, that's where we're at out in the wood shop. I did borrow something from my lab at work. I borrowed something to hone my skills with it, and it has something to do with these stepper motors. I talked to my boss, and was able to borrow the CNC router. So I've got a couple of projects that I want to make out there just to hone my skills. Mostly my design / CAD CAM skills. You know, I've used the CNC router and I've used it to make all kinds of things. Well, a few things anyway. And but I want to start making things a little bit more elaborate. And so getting them designed and then being able to develop the CAM paths, the tool paths to manufacture that thing. That's something that I'm wanting to get better at. But you guys didn't come here to hear me talk about the wood shop or anything like that. You came here to talk about gaming, right? So the RB Craft server is up and running. Several of us have been on there quite a bit, between Deether and Darth E. Curb and Istrisi, Zaz, myself. Several of us have been on there with moderate regularity. I thought about doing some stuff on that server today, but I think we're going to save that for next week, because there are some things that I'm in the midst of working on that I want to make improvements to, etc. We streamed from there last weekend as well. But yeah, having a fun time. It's a vanilla server. If you are an actively supporting member of the community, through either Twitch subscriptions or Patreon patronage, etc., then you have access to the area where you can find the details on how to access the RB Craft vanilla server. Good times had by all. We've got iron farms on there. We've got villager breeders. We've got mob spawners for XP. Mob spawners for XP. I've got in my base alone, I've got a sugarcane farm, a melon and pumpkin farm, a cactus farm. I just made a super smelter that's not so super. It only smelts a little bit. It's only 8 furnaces, but it turned out okay. I guess the next thing I need, when will Silver be back? That's a good question. He is, I believe he is flying right now. And I think he's going to be gone. I think he's going to be gone the better part of a week, if not a little longer. I think. I don't know if he... I don't remember if he told me how long he was going to be gone. Yeah, I don't see anything that says how long he's going to be gone. But he'll be back. Need him to do something on the server files when he returns. What do you need done? If it's just an admin privilege thing, I can probably do that, because I have admin rights. But I don't have. I can't get to. If it's something that I can do in game, then I can probably help. Probably. I know you said something about mob griefing. I thought we had just turned Enderman griefing off, because Endermen were picking up blocks and then not despawning ever. The other day I counted 14 Endermen within a 5 or 6 chunk radius around my base. It was a lot. But he may have just turned off mob griefing entirely. I don't know. Can you turn off just Enderman griefing? Is it an all or nothing thing? I can't remember. I know there's a data pack that you can put in that keeps Enderman griefing at bay, I think. Okay, so it is only with a data pack. Okay. So we'll have to turn mob griefing back on, is what you're saying. Because you need that. You're trying to get a carrot, I'm guessing a carrot farm working, right? Okay. All right. I can probably handle that. I'll try to get on this. I'll try to get on there today. I'll try to get on there today and remind me in the Discord later. After the stream, I'm probably going to try and get a nap. I was up late last night. Mrs. RB and I finished watching season 3 of Resident Alien, and we couldn't stop watching it last night. So I was up till like 3 in the morning. You're going to get a 95-inch TV today? Oh, that sounds amazing. A 95-inch TV. Wow. Wow. I don't think I would need that big of a TV in my living room. I don't think so. We've got a 41 or 2. I think it's a 42. Might only be a 41 though. And we'd like to go a little bit bigger. I'm thinking somewhere around 50. But 95, man, that's gigantic. You got a 65 at the moment? 65 wouldn't be bad. That's what, 5 feet? Yeah. No, a little more than 5 feet. 60 would be 5 feet. 95-inch TV, man, that's big. Also, though, I don't know what I would do with a 95-inch TV because, like, I don't have cable. I don't have cable. We have over-the-air TV. And a couple of streaming services. You know, we got Amazon Prime and Netflix. So I don't know what I would even do with a 95-inch TV. I don't watch as much sports as I used to. You know, if Notre Dame is on, and they're broadcasting on a channel that I can get, then I'll watch them. But and also I watch the Indy 500 every year. And then if I can watch a Cubs baseball game down here in Atlanta, that's tough because they're not here ever. Well, they're here like 5 or 6 times a year. 5 or 6 days a year. So yeah, I don't know what I'd do with a TV that big. I'm sure it'd be nice. I need to do something. Oh yeah, here it comes. Oh, I need to. Wow. Let the yawn finish and then keep talking, RB. Come on. I need to do something about our TV signal. We have an antenna, but it's not a very good one. I need something attic mountable that I can split off to multiple TVs. Yeah, sorry about that. Didn't mean to make you yawn too. But yeah, I need something attic mountable that I can split off to multiple TVs. We've got the TV in the living room. We've got a TV in our bedroom. And then the boys, they each have TVs in their room, and I'm sure they wouldn't mind having the ability to watch television in their room. Right now, the antenna that we have is a single TV antenna. So I'd like to get something that I can do a little bit more, perhaps per se. Yeah. And now you got me thinking about TVs. Have you guys done your Christmas shopping yet? Or are you in the process of doing your Christmas shopping? We're almost done. Couple things left to get. Ooh, gonna watch the Starship launch on it. That'd be fun. That's, man, I'll tell you what, that's an impressive rocket. Starship is an impressive rocket. That thing has got so... Haven't they broken the launch pad a couple of times with that thing? I know, well, I know that the Artemis launch... Oh, for crying out loud. Really? Dylan's Woodshop over on YouTube. Sup, buddy? How you doing, man? Good to see you. I saw you commented on my last video. Welcome to the stream. We're just hanging out and chatting today. Oh. What was I talking about? Oh. Yeah, so when they had the Artemis launch, was that year before last? Man, has it been 2 years ago, 3 years ago now? I don't remember. I know they broke the launch pad on that one. And I feel like the same thing is happening with Starship. And cool, bro. Oh, struggle is real, y'all. Like I said, I went to bed at 3 a.m. 8 o'clock. Let's go. Oh, oh boy. More caffeine. That'll help, right? Yeah. So let's see. We've talked about the rbCraft server. We've talked about a new table saw. I've got this. That's all I want to talk about right now is the woodshop, y'all. And this is a gaming channel. This is a gaming channel. And all I want to do is talk about the woodshop right now. Like, I'm kind of excited about the woodshop right now. The new saw has got me excited. But let's go. We'll come back to that. Gaming channel wise, what's new and exciting that I need to tell you guys? I did do, this is more technology side than anything else, but I have, let's see here. Can I do this? I can do this. Yeah, I can do this. If I go to this one. So I have this laptop right here. This is an Asus ROG Strix. I think it's a 2021 or 20. I think it's a 2020 or 2021 version. This is my primary driver. This is what everything lives on, right? It has a 500 gig. Hang on. It has 500 gig NVMe SSD in it. So I bought a 2 terabyte SSD for it because I want to have multiple, like, I want to have plenty of storage options, right? So I bought an NVMe for it, and it should not be this difficult. Things should not be this hard. I want to take this 500 gig SSD, clone it over to the 2 terabyte SSD, and then expand the partition so that I have access to the entire 2 gigabyte, or 2 terabyte. Yeah, the entire 2 terabytes of drive space. You would think that would be easy. I have tried every tool known to man. There is a partition on this drive from the factory that is smack dab in the middle of the functioning partitions. And when you clone everything over, in order to expand a partition, it has to be the end partition on a drive. But there's another little straggler partition out there that bookends this whole thing, and I can't delete it. It needs to be there. So when I clone this 500 gig SSD over to the 2 terabyte NVMe drive, it stays as a 500 gig partition. And I have tried tool after tool after tool after tool. I've tried Clonezilla. I've tried all of the. If you do a search on YouTube, how do I expand an SSD? You know, how do I clone an SSD to a bigger drive? Oh, you do this and you do this, and it works in the videos all the time. It does not work for me. So I have this 2 terabyte SSD that I delete, nuke and pave, and lose all of the Asus proprietary stuff. I cannot just clone my Windows applications over to the new NVMe drive. So what I've done, and this is a pain in the rear end, but what I've done, as Silver says, it's my time zone. You know, I'm starting to wonder if any of that stuff is true, because honestly, I have more trouble with this stuff than anyone should have. And I don't know why. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me as to why I have this much trouble. So maybe it is my time zone. I don't know. Maybe it is. So what I've done is I have taken that SSD and I have made it a Linux SSD. So right now this laptop is running Windows, but I take the cover off, I can replace the SSD, I can swap it between the Windows SSD and the Linux SSD. So I've been doing testing with this laptop, and let me tell you guys, this laptop runs gloriously on Linux. It runs good on Windows, but it runs gloriously on Linux. But there's a few little hiccups. Like one of the softwares that I use is the old what used to be Google SketchUp. Now it's just its own entity, so you just call it SketchUp, and I use it for all of my designs for woodworking. And you can run it on Linux in Wine. You know what Wine stands for? So Wine stands for Wine is not an emulator. But anyway, you can run. I have SketchUp Make 2017, so it's the 2017 version of SketchUp. That was the last free, full function, non-subscription software that they made. So I still use that one. You can run it on Linux through Wine, and it runs fine until you start doing extensions. The extensions will load. So there's one extension that I use. It's called Cutlist 2.0. And basically what it does is if you highlight your whole drawing and you've applied textures to your drawings, then you can use the cut list thing to generate a cut list. It'll lay everything out on your stock. So if you're dealing with 1x6s or 4x8 sheets of plywood, whatever, it will take all of those components and it will lay them out on those components so that you can optimize your cut list for your project. And then it will also give you a printout of all of the different sizes of component that you need so that you have a list. It's a cut list. On Windows, it works fine. On Linux, you click on Cut List 2.0 and it will open up the cut list, but you can't see anything. And I don't and I don't know why that is. I saw one article in Diamond Anvil. Maybe you might have some good luck in finding some information for me on this one, because I know you're Linux savvy as well. One of the articles that I found, and I think it was on Reddit, talked about how some of those applications used Internet Explorer as their, for lack of a better term, their rendering engine. And so there may be I may need to add IE8 dependencies, libraries in on my wine configuration. Maybe. I haven't tried that yet. So maybe next time I swap the drive out and install and go to try to do something with SketchUp, I might do that. I might try to install those IE8 dependencies and see what happens. It's wine config, so if it doesn't work, you just turn it back off again, right? And then I also need to do some testing. I saw, again, Diamond Anvil, I saw you posted in the Discord an updated way to get the Stream Deck working on a Linux machine. I need to do some testing with that as well and see if I can get that working. If I can get, there's essentially 2, maybe 3 things that are keeping me 100% keeping me from going full-time Linux. One is OBS. As a streamer, audio obviously is important. I can get my microphone into OBS on Linux. I can get an HDMI input into OBS on Linux. I can get all kinds of things, but different audio signals. So right now, this scene that we're looking at has 2 audio signals. One is my microphone. The other one is sound alerts. So if anybody, plays the warning incoming ads thing, or if somebody makes a donation, or if somebody subscribes, we'll get a little pop-up notification, and it will play a desktop sound that gets captured by OBS and filtered on through to the stream. If I go to my gameplay scene, if I go here, that changes. This, by the way, this is a game we're going to play. We're going to play Connections today. Now I have several different ones. I've got my microphone input, so there's one. I've got an audio output capture, which is my desktop sounds. I've got Discord, so that if I'm in a Discord call with somebody, like we're playing on the rbCraft server and you guys want to chat, we can do that. I've got HDMI capture because the laptop is outputting HDMI with audio to the streaming PC, right? And then I also have sound alerts. So again, if somebody were to, play the warning incoming ads thing or subscribe to the channel or whatever, then we would get those notifications as well. OBS on Linux, I can't do that. I can't have application-based sound inputs. It's just desktop audio. There are ways to do it using programs like Jack and whatever, but I'm not good with Jack. I can't figure it out. And so while my audio system is complex on Windows, it has to be very basic, very, very basic in OBS. If they can fix that, then that would be fantastic. Like, that would be check the box. We're good to go on audio on Linux. I use Fusion 360. Autodesk Fusion 360 for a lot of my 3D design stuff, for 3D printing and for CNC stuff for work. That's the other thing, is I do a lot of things for work that I use this laptop for and not my company laptop, because the company laptop, I can't install the stuff. They won't let me install the stuff to run the 3D printer, to run the CNC router, to run the vinyl cutting machine. They won't let me install all that. It's their stuff, but they won't let me install the software to run it. Our IT department at work has gone more brain dead this year than years past. It all started when the announcement was made that, or around the time that we found out that we were in talks with Union Pacific to start the merger, to start the acquisition to become Union Pacific. It all started about that same time. So I have a feeling that they locked the systems down to keep people from finding things that they didn't want them to find. And then they've just never relaxed those requirements. So yeah, so installing software on my work laptop is not an option. Can't do it. So I run all of that stuff off of my personal laptop. So if I'm making stickers for work, I do it on this laptop. If I'm doing 3D printing, I run it from this laptop. If I'm doing anything that's secondary job function at work, I do it with this. It's not on the company network or anything like that. So it's not like it's a security risk. It's just attaching to different components, right? With the exception of the 3D printer, the new Bamboo Lab 3D printer, that one is on a network, but it's on their open network. It's not on their protected private network. So anyway, so Fusion 360 runs on Windows fantastic. It does not run at all, as far as I know, as far as I've been able to find out. It really doesn't run well at all, if at all, on Linux. So I do have an option for that. I have FreeCAD, and FreeCAD and Fusion 360, they're very similar. They're very similar. They are not 100% the same, but they are very similar. So I could go FreeCAD, and that would be fine. But I've gotten really used to Fusion 360. I like Fusion 360. It's probably one of the few pieces of proprietary software that I do enjoy using. So Fusion 360 not working on Linux is a hindrance. It's not a deal breaker, but it's a hindrance. And then the last item, was that the last item? I can make the laser engraver work on Linux. I can make the CNC router work on Linux. I feel like there's something I'm missing. Oh, YouTube seems to be buffering a little bit. Why is YouTube buffering? Why you buffer, YouTube? It's okay. It'd be fine. You still out there, Dylan? How's YouTube looking? Is it looking okay? Anyhow, I've got Linux on this 2 terabyte SSD, and I do run tests, and it's Dylan says it's going great on YouTube. Fantastic. How's the weather out there in your neck of the woods? I was watching a weather report this morning, and they were talking about the Northwest, and it looks like y'all are going to getting blasted or are going to get blasted with snow and rain and just all kinds of nastiness out that way. Weather down here has been far colder than I like to admit. I moved south to get away from cold weather, and it's not working these last couple of years. You're in my hood now? What? What? Okay. I don't know the story behind this. We'll have to chat. Anyway. What was I going to say? Oh. Oh, okay. I see. Gotcha. New Brunswick. I hear that's pretty. All right, you guys. I feel like playing Connections. You guys know what Connections is? Do you know what Connections is? It's a New York Times game. It's chill. Nice. I play this every day. I am currently on a... All right, sounds good. I play this every day. It's a New York Times game. So let's go to gameplay screen. And it's a word puzzle game. So let's go ahead and launch it, and I'll show you what it is. So you get these 16 words. You have to create 4 groups of 4. So all of these words have something to do. 4 of these words have something to do with each other, and there are 4 different groups. There's 4 color categories. There's a purple, there's a yellow, there's a blue, there's a green. Generally speaking, the purple is supposed to be the hardest, and then I think it's either the yellow or the green is the easiest. So we got moderate, monitorship, average, car, Newton, incredible, mean, temper, standard, toady, cool, minion, settle, Adderall, monster, and par. So we have to create 4 groups of 4 on these words. So yeah. I have a 3-game streak where I have gotten all of the groups correct. You also have 4 chances to get it wrong. So like if I were to click moderate, Newton, cool, and car and think that was a group, if I submit that and it's wrong, one of these will tick away. And once we've used up all of our 4 guesses incorrectly, then the game is over. Monster. And it doesn't necessarily, and they're not, so here's the other thing. They're not necessarily words that are, that have similar meanings. Sometimes there's, like monitorship. Sometimes they'll have a category where there's where only part of the word has something to do with other ones that are in there, right? So like you could have ship and car, modes of transportation, or words that have modes of transportation in them. Adderall, toady, cool. This is a tough one. Of course, the first time we're going to play this on stream is the one is I'm probably going to fail at this. But settle, to settle, to cool, to temper. Those could all three go together, right? And moderate, right? So all four of those words are similar to each other as far as what they mean. I'm going to guess that if that is a category, that it's probably going to be either the yellow or the blue. And sometimes I just have to pick some and start limiting my choices, like the power of disqualification, right? Or narrowing the field. Newton. Yeah, I don't know. Car. Mean. Monitorship. Standard. Okay, here's another group that we could have. So remember those: moderate, settle, cool, temper. We also have standard, average, mean, and par. Because you have the mean of something, right? I'm gonna go for it. Yeah, that's the yellow. And then we also had moderate, temper, cool, and settle. That's probably the green. Yep. Mollify. So you see how they're coming up with these categories, right? So the norm is average, mean, par, and standard. To mollify is cool, moderate, settle, or temper. So now we've got two more categories. We got a purple and a blue. So we need to find out which of these words go together. Monitorship. Minion, monster, incredible. Ooh. Pixar related movies. Minions, Monsters Inc., The Incredibles, Cars. Maybe? Those all have something to do with Pixar-related movies, right? I do this every day because I need the brain teasers. So that would leave Monitorship, Toady, Newton, and Adderall. I have a feeling that if this is a category, that this is the purple, because I have no idea why those go together, if they do. But I can see how these would go together. Incredibles, Monsters, Inc., Cars. Yeah, these are all Pixar movies minus the S. Yeah. Well, member of a titular group in an animation franchise? Yes. So Monitorship, Adderall, Toady, and Newton. How are those related to each other? Monitor, Adderall, Toady, Newton. I mean, obviously it's a category. Starting with, wait, hold on, back to puzzle. Starting with herpetofauna. Oh. So they all start with kind of either, well, like reptilian. So adder. The black adder. Adder all. Monitorship. Newton. Toad. Toady. Yeah. Adder. Adderall. Monitorship. Newton. Yep, I get it. But I don't know I didn't know, like, herpetofauna. I didn't know that was even a thing. I didn't know that was even a word. But we have a perfect. Now, it is nice if you can get the purple first, but hey, I ain't complaining. We got it on essentially the first guesses, which is great. So, I've completed 79 of these. I have 163, but you only get one a day. Like there's only one new puzzle per day, and but I'm above average. You know, I'm above average. 63% of the time I win. I have a current streak of 4, and my max streak is 6. And then let me tell you, if you're interested in this stuff, you can do it on your phone. You can do it on your web browser. Some of these are tough. But we did good. I got to play Connections with you guys today. That makes me feel great. Let's go back to just chatting now. A little bit of sad news. One of the content creators that I follow on the makerspace side of YouTube, Topper Machine, he has a full service, fully functional machine shop up in northern Wisconsin. And he announced today, this is his 5-year anniversary video for YouTube. So he's been making YouTube videos for 5 years now. He announced today that he's shutting his business down. He's going to keep doing YouTube videos, but he's shutting his business down because the area that he lives in is just there's no work up there. He's got a plan for what he's going to do, but how far I'm about 2/3 of the way through the video right now. I started watching that before we went live. I feel bad for the guy. He's a talented machinist. So he's got all the different machining tools, you know, horizontal mills, lathes, CNC. Well, he doesn't really have any CNC stuff, I guess. Yeah, there's no CNC. Perhaps if he got into CNC, that might help him a little bit, but honestly, I don't think it will. But anyway, he put the video out today, and he's talking about just having to shut down his business after, I think it was 12 years, which is unfortunate. Sign of the times, I guess. Darth Ekerb played the warning ads. What?
Ads inbound. Warning, ads inbound.
You just love that sound alert, don't you? You just love it. I kind of love it too. But no ads on this channel. No ads on this channel. I don't blame you, buddy. We came up with a good one on that one. We'll have to do so. Y'all. I struggle with this a lot. There are some things that I would maybe like to do with the channels, but I have half a dozen people that watch regularly. I have half a dozen people. I'm talking to 6 people right now. According to Twitch, I've got 5 viewers, and according to YouTube, I've got 1. I'm guessing Diamond Anvil's over on YouTube also, but he's also on Twitch, so he counts as one person to me. I want to do more, but at the same time, I don't want to do more, you know? You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Do you guys struggle with this? Do you guys struggle with this too? Like, you could do more, or you feel like you could do more, and then you're like, but why? Like, I know I could come down here and I could stream every day. Is that what I want though? Because I don't think it is. I could come down and I could work in the wood shop every day. But is that what I want? I don't know that it is. I feel like there's value in what I do. I feel like it brings me joy. And maybe this is part of my personality type. I am an ISTP. Mrs. RB is big into personality types, so I know that I'm an ISTP. I like adventure. I like randomness. I don't like scheduled. Honestly, sometimes, being down here at 9 o'clock every Saturday is tedious. Oh, that's Deether, that's nice. Since you've got grandbabies, now there's nothing else you want to do. That's fantastic. So Dorothy Kerb says, not every day, but 2 to 3 times a week like I used to. I feel like more and more and more lately, the mood has to strike me. I have to be in the mood to go do something. It has to scratch that itch, you know? And yes, it does. It gets old fast. Oh, I got to stream today. Oh, I got to stream today. Oh, I got to stream today. Oh, I got to create a video today. Oh, I got to do this today. Oh, I got to do it. I don't like schedules. And Mrs. RB loves schedules, so that's fun. That's fun. Hey, let's do this and 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 this. I got it all planned out. And I was like, oh my God. We're supposed to go to the town square today. I'm not sure if we're going or not because the weather hasn't been great. But the lighting of the Christmas tree downtown is today. The Christmas parade is today. So from about 3 o'clock on till probably 7, my afternoon is planned. Yeah, Dylan, exactly. You want to record videos, but life's got so much going on. Yeah, like there's always something pulling you away. So much more to do, yeah. And when you have a family, when you have a family, it just compounds everything. Hang on, I gotta fix. I'm wearing sweatpants and they're kind of riding down a little bit. It's annoying. I could tighten up this drawstring, but then I'd be cutting off my circulation of my legs. Wow, the sleep in my eyes is real this morning. Should be for pleasure and not have to. Yeah, I agree. 100%. Your kids are 5 and 3 and you have no time. My kids are 29, 25, and 19. And I have no time. At least I feel like I have no time. Ooh, I'm getting hungry. I know exactly how this is going to go. I'm going to finish my stream. I'm going to go upstairs and I'm going to have lunch. And I'm going to pass out for probably 2 hours. And then Mrs. RB is going to be like, I gotta go. Maybe. She did say that if the weather doesn't cooperate, that we're not going. So, because I mean, it's all outside stuff, right? And there's things you can do, but also it's 36 degrees outside. It's 36 degrees. And nobody wants to stand outside in the rain at 36 degrees. Is it still 36 degrees? Let's see. And it's up to 43 now. It's up to 43. Yeah. There are a couple of things stepdaughters are 34 and 35. Younger kids are 18, 19, and 22. Nice. So yeah, several of us have adult families. Wait till that happens to you, Dylan. Holy cow. Wait till you open your eyes one day and your kids are in their 20s and 30s and you're like, holy crap. Where did it all go? That happens to me at least once a week. Yeah, you were a little slow. Well, I also don't think you're quite as old as I am. I don't remember how old you are, but I feel like you're a little younger than me. I feel like. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you did just get started really late. I don't know. I'll tell you what. I'm glad I had my kids when I had my kids. Yes, Deether, I know you're older. I know you are. You're in your early 40s. Okay. So yeah, I'm at least 10 years older than you. But still, for your kids to be 5 and 3, that's still a little bit later. We started having kids and I was in my 20s. I was in my mid 20s. I was what, 24? You get to draw Social Security next year. Holy cow. Dang. I don't look it? Well, thanks. My wife told me the other day it's not fair. I've gotten more handsome as I got older. I don't know that I see it, but sure. Love the South where you were in the upper 80s last week and now you dropped below freezing. Yeah, exactly. It wasn't upper 80s last week for me, but it was low 80s. And now just ahead of you by a few months. Yeah. So I'm 53. Yeah, 53. Darth just hit 50. Deether's going to get to draw Social Security next year, which is something. I've got a retirement tracker. I got a retirement tracker on my computer, and I have 9.22. Well, I guess it's 9.21. 9.21 years left for full retirement. I'll be eligible for my pension in 2 years, but I can't draw the pension and keep working. But I'm not eligible for railroad retirement until 2035. 3 inches of snow on the ground. I have no snow on the ground, but I have a lot of water. It has rained and rained and rained and rained. I don't hate it. Like I actually do love snow. I love to see it. I love to see it. I love to do things in it. More ice than snow. Yeah, down here, yeah. Like it doesn't take long for it to turn. What is the snow you're talking about? Rub it in, Darth. Rub it in. But when we lived up north, especially before I met my wife, Like northern Indiana is not known for winter activities. You have a lawn that needs a final mowing. It's just hard to do with snow all over it. Yes, it does. I probably should mow my lawn one more time. Probably, but it may have gone dormant now. I don't know. It's been cold enough. It may have gone dormant. The leaves are all off the trees. But anyway, northern Indiana is not really known for its outdoor winter activities because most everything is flat. There's a few hills where I'm from where you could do like tobogganing or inner tubing or whatever, and that's fun. Sledding of some kind. And then about 45, I guess it was about 45 minutes, maybe an hour away from where I lived. There was a place up in Michigan that had a decent sized hill. It's not mountains by any means, but a decent sized hill where we could downhill ski. And so I do enjoy those activities. I just hate being cold. If it could snow and be like 75, I think we'd be onto something. Go to the levee on the Mississippi River when it snows and slide down. Sure. Yeah, that sounds like fun. Last bunch of years, we've had winter 4 to 6 weeks, and then it turns 40s in mud. Yeah. Up in the Delta. Nice. That's fantastic. That sounds like fun. Sledding on the Mississippi. Good times had by all, right? So yeah, I know how. Well, I haven't downhill skied in 30 years. Yeah, probably 30 years. Damn, has it been? Holy cow, it's been 30 years. I haven't downhill skied since I got married. How far down? Here in Arizona, bushes that produce white puffy seeds call it desert snow. Nice. You wanted to live in Alaska, but your wife said no. She's wise beyond her years, Deether. Your wife is wise beyond her years. I could not live in Alaska. I could not. Growing up, I always wanted to live in like Wyoming. I wanted to be like right there on the mountains, but not in them. So I always wanted to live in Wyoming, and then I found out exactly like how cold it gets in Wyoming, and the weather coming off the mountain is always so unpredictable. I was like, nope, I have no desire now. I would like to go visit some of those places. Wyoming, Colorado, Idaho. I've been through those places on numerous occasions, but never really stopped to really take it in. So yeah. There are a lot. There are a lot of beautiful places around this country. I've been to when I was a kid. When I was a kid, my grandmother used to travel a lot, and she would take me on trips with her sometime. And Diamond Anvil, I think knowing roughly where you're from. I think you can agree with this statement, maybe. She used to deliver trucks. She would deliver box trucks, van conversions, and she would drive them to their destination. And then we would either get a return train, bus, plane, or a return vehicle that she would have to drive back. One time we had to go to New Jersey. And, you know, kids being kids, when I got back, I was telling my classmates, I went on this trip with my grandmother, and we saw some beautiful places in New Jersey. The state of New Jersey. You know, when you think of New Jersey, you think about you think about cities along the Hudson River. But there are some beautiful places in New Jersey. And all of my friends, see, you didn't go. That New Jersey's ugly. Blah, blah, blah. No, it's not. New Jersey is beautiful in some places. There's a certain beauty that is New York City. Yeah, it's sprawling metropolis, but the way that it's done is breathtaking. But there was some very pretty countryside in the places that we were in New Jersey. Now, this was 40 years ago. I don't know if those places still exist, but hey, you know, where I'm from in Indiana, it's flat, but it's so pretty in the mornings. It's so pretty in the mornings. You get the sunrise coming up over the cornfields. And if it and that low level mist that the sunlight shines, that's just it's breathtaking. It's breathtaking. Lake Michigan, spent lots of time on Lake Michigan, around Lake Michigan. Dar says he's got a cousin that lives in Alaska off grid. That is nuts. That's nuts. That's insane. That's insane. And also, wife says hi. Hello, Mrs. E. Curb. Good to see you. Cheers. I have a lot of half-finished projects. You know that? I was just looking around. I finished that can of Dew, and I got a trash can here under my desk. I went to throw it away, and I looked, and in the corner of my eye, I've got this 100-foot spool of Ethernet cable. I got this 100-foot spool of Ethernet cable over here on the floor that goes upstairs to the wireless router, and so over here on the wall, I have the cable modem. The cable modem has a cable coming out of it that goes up to the Wi-Fi router upstairs. The Wi-Fi router is up in the living room. It's the central part of the house, so we get the best coverage up there. And then I've got an Ethernet cable that comes down to a switch that's here on my desk, and all of RB Enterprises runs off of that switch. So this computer is plugged into it. The streaming computer is plugged into it. There's a network drive in here that's plugged into it. And I feel like there's one other thing as well. But anyway, no, there's two network drives over there. That's right. But anyway, I'm looking at this coiled up 100-foot spool of Ethernet cable going, yeah, you know, I really need to finish that project. I need to drill a hole up here and build a chaseway. And then I need to hang a rack going all the way around the room because my server is back there. It's not turned on because I can't decide what I want to do with that. Because the mood doesn't strike me to work on it. Diamond Anvil says, I don't understand Florida. I would take Arizona, New Mexico, and Utah over for warm weather over Florida. I don't understand Florida either. Like, I've been to a few places in Florida. Technically, I've really only been one place in Florida. One place? Yeah. I've been to Jacksonville. And that was for work. Like, it was nice, but it wasn't that nice. It was okay. And obviously, the farther south you go, the warmer it's going to get, but also the more humid it's going to get. You're surrounded on all sides by all of the water in the world. Almost literally all of the water in the world. The Gulf on one side, the Atlantic on the other side, the Caribbean. There's no Pacific Ocean there, but the Gulf of USA. I gotta say, of all of the things, of all of the things that could make people angry, Gulf of Mexico versus Gulf of America. Honestly, Gulf of America makes more sense because it is the American continent. Gulf of USA is a stretch. Gulf of USA is a stretch, but Gulf of Mexico versus Gulf of America, six in one hand, half a dozen in the other. Worked all over the state of Florida. The weather is similar to Mississippi. Yeah. Also, one thing that I didn't know until I was older is that there's so much farmland in Florida. I didn't realize that there was as much farmland in Florida as there is until I was older. The coastal cities are they're the tourist attractions, right? But the center of the state, there's a lot of ranches and stuff in there. There's a lot of cattle. I didn't realize that until probably my 40s. A lot of food is grown in Florida. Yeah, sure. A lot of fruit, obviously, oranges and such, but also I think there's a lot of corn in Florida. I feel like that's a thing. Maine, Florida agriculture crops. Oranges, sugarcane, tomatoes, sweet corn, watermelons, strawberries, bell peppers, and snap beans. Yeah, that makes sense. Florida's a big state, and it's easy to forget that there are parts of Florida that are not oceanfront. You're a few hours away from the ocean in some places, or an hour-ish or so. But yeah, it's easy to forget. It's easy to forget that Florida does have a lot of land. Tomatoes, sweet corn, watermelons, and snap beans. It has a lot. It has a lot of oceanfront property. There is a lot of oceanfront property in Florida. If you were to take the coastline of Florida and come in 1 mile, and create that, just kind of create that area all the way around the peninsula of Florida, that's significant. If you say how much land is within a mile of the ocean in Florida, it's astronomical. Much more than Michigan. You know what else? Much more than Nebraska. Nebraska has no contact at all. At least Michigan has a waterway. How much land is within 1 mile of the ocean in Florida? No ocean for Arizona? Nope. Let's see here. No point. Oh, here's an interesting fact. Florida has general coastline of 1,350 miles and a highly detailed tidal shoreline of over 8,400 miles. The entire coastal lowland region of Florida extends inland 30 to 50 miles, not just 1 mile. In 2004, an analysis for the EPA produced a report on the area of land within about 8 feet above a spring water along Florida's Atlantic coast. No point in Florida is more than 60 miles or about an hour to an hour and a half's drive from the nearest coast. You have to be pretty hardy to live in Nebraska and Dakotas. Yes. Yes. No ocean for Arizona. Yes. Well, I mean, there's no ocean for Arizona, but at the same time, Arizona. Yeah, you'd have to go. You got to go through Mexico, but if you're down there around, even from Phoenix, if you went down to Rocky Point, down off of Baja, you could be there in about 4 hours. Makes up for it by being such a beautiful state. Yeah, Arizona is beautiful. But yeah, you'd have to go down through Sonora, down towards Baja, and you could be at the ocean in about 4 hours. Song for oceanfront property in Arizona? Sure. So honestly, Darth, you're not any farther from the ocean than me. I don't know exactly where in Arizona you live, and of course I don't want you to blurt that out on stream, but you've seen snow on a cactus. Sure. What is the snow you speak of? There's no snow in Arizona. Summers in Arizona are a bit warm, but it's a dry heat. Yes. Snow on a cactus. I've seen pictures of snow on cactus. Diamond Anvil wants me to hydrate. We shall hydrate. I filled my water bottle this morning. It's up to there. Also a posture check. Also a stretch. Holy cow. Well, there's the hydration. Posture check. Posture seems good. And now we shall stretch. Oh. Yep. Whew. Okay. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Whew. Okay. All right, I think I'm done looking at Google Maps now. Nice. Plywood. Y'all, plywood is expensive. Plywood's expensive. Look at this. Look at this. Here's Lowe's. Oh. For half-inch plywood. Half inch 4x8 sanded ply, $50 a sheet. If I look at Home Depot, tell me that's not price collusion, by the way. 4x8 sanded ply, half inch, $45.55. 4x8 half inch, $45.55. Hey, that looks like price collusion to me. But anyway, and that's the cheap stuff, right? If you want good plywood, $70 a sheet. And I'm not even sure that that's good plywood. Yes, if you're watching the stream over on YouTube, do what Diamond Anvil has told you to do. Follow instructions and hit the like button over there. We need those likes. We need those likes. Viewer activity. No super chats. Stream settings. Nope. Stream health. Nope. You know what? This doesn't tell me. Views. Huh. This doesn't tell me. My YouTube stats don't tell me how many likes I have. Huh, weird. Got a thumbs up from Dylan's wood shop, though. Mrs. E. Curbs likes beaches on the Gulf or in the Atlantic over the Pacific. They're warm. I have never been to a Pacific beach. I have only been to a couple of Atlantic beach. I've never been to a beach on the Gulf either. I have been to Jacksonville, Tybee Island, Savannah, and Virginia Beach. Those are the only 3 Atlantic beaches that I've ever been to. So I've got a fairly good representation of mid-Atlantic, southeast, south. Obviously there's other beaches farther south that I could go to. Vancouver Island beaches are unbelievable. I bet they are. I'll bet they are. Pacific gets the Alaskan current. Sure, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? That's true. I've seen the. Yeah, I believe that. Okay. I don't know that I would want to swim at any of the Pacific beaches north of, say, oh, probably north of San Francisco. I would love to go to I would love to go and see the ocean down around San Diego, Santa Monica, uh, Los Angeles, someplace down there in the Southwest. I would love to see the ocean there. Even San Diego's cold? Okay. Okay. I will say this. You're not wrong. The water at the beaches that I've been to on the East Coast, the water was nice. I need a couple of sheets of plywood, and they're freaking expensive. Stupid plywood is stupid. Stupid plywood. Yeah, Tybee is our favorite place. We love going to Tybee. We should probably plan a trip to go to Tybee next year. I might need to go home next year though. We haven't been home in a couple of years. We probably should go home too. Mrs. RB said something about needing to take a trip. Oh, I do have a my nephew is getting married. A little. I can get a little bit of of plywood from the old table saw. There's some decent pieces that made up the base. The problem with the base is that the front side, of course, the front side's got the arc grooves cut in it for the lift and the tilt mechanism. And then the back is better than the front in that the back it has one hole in the back of it, and that was for the dust port, or the dust collection port. So I'll get some out of it, and I'll have plywood that I can make like drawer boxes out of and stuff like that. And I've got some plywood also. But the next project that I need to work on that's shop related is I've got to rebuild the workbench, because I don't have an outfeed table for my table saw now. So I can get some. I didn't even use a full sheet of plywood to build that table saw. That's only about, I don't know, 2/3 of a sheet maybe. When you consider all of the pieces that built the base, plus all of the pieces that built the fence, it's probably only 2/3 of a sheet of plywood. Probably. So I can use the 2x4s that make up the base of the bench. I can reuse most of those. In most cases, all I've got to do is cut them down a little bit. So let me hang on. Let me pull this up. This is not going to be a perfect representation, but it's a representation nonetheless. We'll pull this up and I'll show you how the workbench is made. Open workbench. Yeah. So, oh no, don't do that one. Hold on. Open. Nope, not new. Open. This one. All right, so this is something I was thinking about doing, but this is how the workbench is built essentially right now. There's a couple uprights in here that aren't shown here, but the legs are made like this. The legs are made like this. So it's 2x4s, and they kind of make an interlock with the outer and inner pieces, right? So really, for the legs, all I have to do is cut those down. I need to cut them down about 1.25 inches to get them to the right height to match the table saw. So this piece here, Just need to cut those a little shorter, and then I can put them right back in. The top is supposed to be 3/4 of an inch. It is not. The top is only a piece of 1/4 inch plywood right now. So yeah, it's not great. Not great. I mean, I can reuse that 1/4 inch plywood. That does good for drawer box bottoms, backs of cabinets, you know, things that are just there to close something up and are not necessarily structural. But yeah, my workbench top right now is just a piece of 1/4 inch plywood. So that's unfortunate. The workbench that I'm currently working on, Workbench 2.0. Man, this is running slow today. Why is this running so slow today? Anyway, so this is not the table saw that I have. This is the R4512. I've got the 4511. You can always tell the difference between the 12 and the 11 is because this hand wheel is on my saw is on the left side instead of the right. But yeah, this is what the bench is gonna be. I'm gonna put the casters in there like that, and then these openings, this opening here and this opening here, are gonna be drawers, but they're only gonna go about halfway back, and then there's gonna be side drawers, side cabinets that I think. Yeah, side cabinets, and they're gonna have drawers in it as well that you'll be able to access from both sides, and that'll be where I keep like my it'll be where I keep like my fence when I'm not using it. It'll be where I keep my miter my miter gauge. Nope. Yeah, miter gauge. Where I'll keep my miter gauge when I'm not using it. So that's the plan. I need to do some more drawing on this, and a dado blade, eventually have a dado stack. Yeah, right now I can cut dados on the router table, but dado stack would be much nicer. Dado stack would be much nicer. But yeah, that's like, I figure if I do something like this, if this surface and this surface are level with each other, then I can use that as my assembly table. And I need to free up floor space. I need to free up floor space in the shop because I have no place to go, you know. Again, just looking at the floor plan for the shop. This is the plan. This is what I want. Well, I don't have the new workbench in the floor plan for the shop yet. Man, this is slow today. I'm gonna have to do a reboot or something. There it is. So drill press over there, dust collection over here, planer over here, table saw and assembly table here, bandsaw here. The only thing that's going to change now is I've got, I don't know if you guys have watched the video yet. So if you haven't watched the video, spoiler alert, I've got a miter saw. A few months back, I picked up the Bauer 10-inch sliding miter saw, and it's freaking glorious. So I need a miter station. That's why I was playing around with ideas like this. If I go back to the Workbench 2.0, the Mrs. RB puts the car right here. It fits right here. And then when I do woodworking, I pull it outside. So that's why the miter saw is why I was doing stuff. Whoops. Nope. Hand. Was doing stuff like this. This is a flip top. So you flip it one way and it's nice and flat. You flip it the other way and it has a place to put the miter saw. I haven't fully committed to that yet, but maybe. Honestly, it might not be a bad idea to put a flip top like over on this side, like over here. Make it just a little bit deeper so I can put a flip top in there. I don't know. What do you guys think? I also need fold up, fold down along the wall. Yeah. Maybe. Maybe. That is a possibility. That's actually not a bad idea. The only problem that I see with that, either way, whether it's a flip top or it's a fold down, the saw stays permanently mounted. Like I don't have a place to store. I don't have a place to store the saw when I'm not using it. So flip top gives me a work surface, but then also it gives me a flat surface that if I flip the saw up, then I can make cuts. But if it's a wall mounted deal, the saw still stays mounted to the bench top, right? And even with the saw folded down, the saw is still going to stick out off the wall because I don't have a place to store the saw when I'm not using it. So either way, I'm going to lose floor space a little bit. I'm botching the way I'm trying to explain this, but yes. So in the video, I talk about some of the things that I've got up here in my noggin that I want to build, and wall mounted storage. You know, so like a plane till for my hand planes, chisel rack. Clamps are my clamps are already up off the wall or up off the floor, up off the bench tops because I've got, you know, makeshift clamp racks up there. So yeah, I told him we'd come back to woodworking. Yeah. Let's go back to the floor plan for a second. Maybe. So, Dylan, yes. A French cleat wall, possibly. So like, obvious. So like this right here. Let's just adjust this a little bit. How big is this? 48. So push pull 12 inches. Uh, 6 feet. Oh, not 6 feet. 24 inches. There we go. Now let's do another. There we go. So now that's a more accurate representation of the size. So over here on this wall, I'd like to have my plane till and my chisel rack. Right now they're in this drawer right here of this cabinet. Well, the planes are up on top of this cabinet, and the chisels and all the sharpening stuff are in that drawer right there, that third drawer down. The drill press currently is not in this position. It's sitting over here by the garage door. So I need to move the drill press, but this is where the carcass for the old table saw is sitting right now. So I got to finish getting that torn apart. Probably do that today if I don't fall asleep. And then I also have an old 2 foot deep by 8 foot long workbench sitting right here. That needs to go away. It needs to go away. It's just a catch-all right now. The laser engraver's sitting on it. But it is in the way. It is in the way. Yeah. That's the idea, though. And then also have a place for this guy. Although, I kind of want to get rid of this router station and build the router into something over here, you know? I don't know. It's all so frustrating. It's also blah. Rawr. The only thing I'm sure of is kind of this layout right here. That's really the only thing I'm sure of. This, honestly, this could probably come over here. And then I could put the miter station on this wall. Or I can just build the miter station into this. Keep it 4 feet wide. Put a miter saw flip top in here. The measurements for the room are, what, 22 by 22, I think? $267 inches. I think that's 22. I think that's 22, 21 or 22 feet. Calculator. 267 divided by 12. 22.25 feet. So it's 22 by 22. 440 square feet. What's that in centimeters? Holy cow. Oh. Two 267 times 20. I was gonna try and figure it out for you. 2.45. Oh no. 654. Oh, wait, 654? Oh, 54 centimeters. Wait. So it's about 6.5 meters. Is that right? 2.54 centimeters to an inch. Yeah. Yeah, so it's about 6.54 meters. We'll just say 6 by 6 meters. How's that? But yeah, wall cabinets. Well, there's a breaker panel right here. Can't do anything right there. There's a breaker panel right there. Yeah, 25.4 millimeters. You made a 16 by 16 shop. Nice. I wish I could here's the thing. If I could utilize all of this space, then I'd be set. I wouldn't have to worry about space at all. But I do have to be able to park the car in there. I have thought about, no, I probably won't be able to do it, but I have thought about building another garage. I just don't know if I don't know if it would be worth it or not. The permits and everything that you got to go through, and there's a part of me that just wants to live out in the middle of nowhere so I can just do what I want. You know, I understand why we have rules and regulations for buildings, building codes and such. But I also I don't like it. I don't like it. Doesn't make me happy. You made it out of pallets. Fantastic. I got a couple of pallet wood projects on the agenda for 2026. Very inconvenient. I can see that. I can see. So what'd you do? Did you just lay the pallets down and make the rules? Yeah. So did you just lay the pallets down and then build walls on top of them, or that's interesting. There's a video, I haven't watched it yet, but there was somebody that actually did something like that. Whoa! Stream Elements finally put something into YouTube chat. It hasn't done that. We've actually got a Stream Elements post in the YouTube chat, you guys. That means we've had enough engagement on YouTube for Stream Elements to go, oh, there's people here. That never happens. That makes me happy. But anyway, there's a YouTube video that I've been meaning to watch, and it was a guy that made a structure. I think it was more like a little cabin out of pallets. So that's cool. But yeah, I've got a couple of pallet wood projects that are on the agenda for 2026. I might start them in 2025. I also we did a lot of work this week outside. I need to build something for my firewood for our fire pit. 16 pallets. So the floor is pallets, and then the walls are pallets also. Then used real wood for the roof. Okay. Don't I know a guy who can get me a line on a Connex container for the shop? Well, maybe. I know a lot of people who could probably help me with that. I don't know if I want to have my shop be a Connex container, you know? I've seen container shops before, and they are cool. If I was going to do a container shop, I would do a metal shop and a container shop. I think, like a mill and a lathe. I would do something like that. When it comes to woodworking, obviously it's not 100% deal breaker, but when it comes to woodworking, especially dealing with sheet goods, containers get tight real fast. They're what? 10 feet wide, 8 feet wide. Connex are 8 by 24. Well, you can get them in various lengths. But yeah, I want to say 8 or at the most 10 feet wide, but probably not 8, but probably not 10 feet wide. That's the wrong mouse. Need to use this one. How big is a Connex box? There we go. 8 feet. Yeah. So they come in various lengths, 10, 20, and 40 usually. And then they're 8.5 to 9.5 feet tall. But yeah, it says almost always 8 feet wide, which makes sense because, they're shipping containers. There has to be at least one standard dimension. And since they go over the road, it's got to fit on the road. So yeah, 20-foot Connex box. That's a good question. How expensive? How much is a Connex box? Yeah. Used cargo containers for sale, 20 and 40-foot containers from IPL Management. 13. There's a 10-footer. Nope, hold on. There's a 10-footer for $800. There's a 40-footer for $1,500. There's a 40-footer for $1,000. Connex boxes in my area. Oh. Place to store tools that I'm not currently using? Sure. So we could just do a small one then. We could just do the 10-foot one. I mean, I have a shed also. I have a shed. Yeah. Every place wants me to give them details so that they can give me the most accurate price. No, I'm not giving you details yet. I do that, I'll end up on some freaking mailing list. How many of you are getting spam calls about Medicare or Medicaid on your cell phones? Not my personal phone, my work phone. My work phone has rang more since I've been on vacation than it did when I was actually working. And it's all spam calls about some kind of Medicare, Medicaid open enrollment. I'm not even old enough for that yet. But yeah, so I do have a shed. 15 to 20 a day. Yeah. So at its worst, I was probably getting just upgrade the casters to off-road versions. Yeah, sure. But yeah, I've been getting 8 to 12 a day. And what's really fun is if you do answer it, they'll say, hey, we want to talk to you about Medicare. You do have parts A and B, right? And you say no, and they say, oh, you don't qualify, and then they hang up. And then they call back. The same people are calling back. So what's the plan for the next stream? So next Saturday for sure is going to be a Minecraft stream, probably from the rbCraft server. Yeah, probably from the rbCraft server. Damn, didn't make it. Well, you made it for the end. Dylan says I should put the off-road casters on my tools. I don't know about that. Maybe. Oh, that's something else I got to do to the table saw. So it came with the hyperlift mechanism to roll the table saw around in, but it doesn't work very well. So I've got it. I put it on the mobile base that I made for the old table saw, and that one works much better. But I got to take that hyperlift, tough lift, whatever it is. I got to take that off because the wheels kind of drag still, and it makes it difficult to move around. So, is what it is. But Hybrid, we're glad you're here, even though we're getting ready to leave. I got to go eat, and then I might pass out for a little while because like I said, I was up until like 3 a.m. watching the end of season 3 of Resident Alien. Now I just got to wait for season 4 to hit Netflix because season 4 is the last season. And I want to see how it ends. Thanks, Darth. Good stream as always, he says. All right, folks. I think that's going to do it for today. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. I do appreciate it very, very much. We watched the first 4 episodes of season 5 of Stranger Things as well. Oh, chef's kiss. Oh, so good. It's going to get good. The next 4 episodes drop at Christmas with the next 3 episodes drop at Christmas. And then the series finale drops on New Year's Eve, I think it is. So yeah, ooh, chef's kiss, so good. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but I think Vecna done fucked up. He may have created something that he wasn't anticipating. Maybe. We'll have to see. Dylan says, good stream. Good to hang. I appreciate it. I appreciate all of you being here. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, you know what to do. Hit the follow button. Get notified every time we go live, which is every Saturday right here on Twitch and YouTube. If you want to help support the stream, there's a couple of ways you can do that. You can either become a Twitch subscriber right here on twitch.tv by hitting the subscribe button, or use your Amazon Prime like a few people do, like Darth does. Or if you're over on YouTube and you want to help support the stream, you can hit the join button, and it'll charge you some money, and it'll send it to me. Or you can go to Patreon. Patreon.com/RB_plays. You can become a financial supporter over there. Like Deether. Nope, not Deether. Sorry, I just called out Deether and he's not on there anymore. I just opened my mouth and inserted my foot. Now I feel dumb. Crap. Never mind. Never mind. I'm just going to end it here. Love you guys to pieces. Thank you so much for hanging out with me this morning. I do appreciate it very, very much. I do need to make some videos. We started yesterday with a YouTube video for the woodworking channel. We should hopefully get something out on the gaming channel as well. But until next time, we'll come back. We'll do this again next week. You are all invited. But until then, get off my lawn. We'll see everybody. Have a great week. Bye.